Join me today as I look at some of my orders. Let's see what has sold in the last month, what I want to point out to you guys. These I found at a garage sale. It was quite a large lot of photos. They're just so cool to look at. I almost kept them, but I did have these listed since April of 2023. Here's an example. I had not ended them and relisted them for a while, so it was like 6 months. I ended them, sold similar, and then in 2 weeks they sold. I did accept a best offer on these for $14.40. I've just been wanting to churn and burn as much as I can. Jack Bryan, anytime I have found, let me show you the label. Anytime I have found any vintage dresses from this label, I have had good luck with selling them. And I could have maybe held out and got more for this. I was asking $119 because prices were just kind of all over. I accepted a best offer of $65. It had been listed since August of 2025. There was some staining on the inside lining, and a lot of times this label dresses, they do not have size or fabric tags. So I just put it on my mannequin and kind of gauge from there how it fits to determine the size and just make sure that I do say that in my listing. Not all Free People is created equal. Some Free People you still are going to be able to get a good amount for. This was a tank top. I could not find the style name. It does help, I've noticed, if you have the style name. But this was listed since December of 2024, sold last month, and I accepted a best offer on $12. All my listings are plus shipping. I know some people do swear by free shipping, and I just haven't had a big of lift in sales when I've offered free shipping. Let me know. I'd love to know if you do free shipping or calculated shipping. I love finding when I can find a vintage one that actually works. That is a challenge, but this was from 2004. It is the Brain Freeze edition, and it was even missing some of these cards. There was some staining, had some drawings on it. I listed this one, it's been listed for a long time, November of 2023. I did go ahead and add a video in here, which did help, I think. I accepted a best offer of $19.09. Yeah, see, showed that it does work. I have noticed that even if you do find them and they don't work, sometimes it's not a total loss because you can sell the parts, but of course it's best if they work. Just like Free People, Disney is not created equal either. This is an Epcot sweatshirt from the World Showcase from the Disney Parks, authentic. It is a size small. I had this listed since December of 2023. So it took a while, and I accepted a best offer of $20. This one's an interesting one. This was part of an auction lot. So it's just an attachment for an iron. You set the iron right there. And this was listed since January 24, sold mid-March. And I did accept a best offer of $16 for this one. So sometimes, you know, those odd things, you may not get a lot of money, but if it's like, I got this, you know, as part of an auction lot, so was happy to get that. All right, again, another brand, 12th Tribe. This is also, like most things, not a brand that is created equal. Some things I have not been able to like give away, but here's the label. This jacket, I listed it February 25th and it sold March 7th. It did help that I was able to find the name of the jacket, and it's a puffer jacket. I usually am cautious with black items, but this one sold pretty quick. I accepted a best offer of $51. I was originally asking $59.99. In the last video I did show a phone. This was in that same lot that I had gotten, just to show you, not tested. So this is a set of 3, and this did sell for $19.99. This was one of the few that I didn't have to accept a best offer. It sold what I had it listed for. The last video I was having some trouble with my sound, so I wanted to go and talk about some Posh listings. This is a newer brand to me, Sasha Teresa, and when I looked this up, not everything went high, but I thought that it was new with tags. Here's the label. I got $38 and it sold fairly quickly. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that name. Here's one that, see, it didn't really have, let's see, what was it? Here was the label. I looked it up. Didn't really seem like that label was strong seller. But I thought like through Halloween that this is gonna, sell, but it took a couple years to sell this kind of disco. And maybe it's because of how I had it displayed. I need to do better with my pants and jumpsuits. That is one thing I am working on. All right, this one, oh, I had this since 2018. Yes, you heard me right. Brand new in package. Again, just because it's new doesn't mean you're going to get big bucks for it. I was so shocked that this took so long to sell, and I accepted an offer of $13 for it, but I was happy to even get that. Here's an example of if you have something cool enough, even if it's not complete. This robe is missing the belt, but it's still sold for $40. So sometimes it doesn't need to be complete. It can have a little bit of a flaw of missing a belt. And interesting enough, this is sealed Polaroid, but as you can see, it expired in 2009. Sealed, it has 10 photos, so I was happy with that. Now, if you do ever sell something like this, you know how Posh is priority, but when I did ship this out, it does change it to ground. So just as an FYI, some things like this, you might have to pay attention to that printing label when you're used to just shipping things in a priority box through Posh. I wanted to show this one because I had bought a 2-piece and it ended up that the jacket had a stain on it, and I thought, but it wasn't. I wanted to just show that sometimes even if it's, part of a suit and you can't sell it as a 2-piece suit, maybe there's a stain on something, the sizes don't match, I still got $13 for it. So I didn't think that that was too bad. And does this bring back memories for anyone else? Please let me know down in the comments if you were an 80s girl and you used the crimper. $20, it was new in package. And yes, free people. See, some of the free people is good. I just thought, I love this. Roller Rink Tube Top was the name of it, and I got $60 for this one. This is an old listing, but since I haven't done many of the what sold videos, I wanted to show you guys. Here's an example of sometimes, even if I don't even think that, yeah, this one didn't even have a label, and it was black, so I usually stay away from, or there was no brand, there was a size tag, but I usually stay away from black. I would usually stay away from something that isn't branded. And yes, I wouldn't have paid much for this. I got $15 for it, but I thought that those sleeves were interesting enough, and it sold $15. Also, if you ever see this brand of purse, I don't come across it too much, but there's a couple spots even in the lining. The few times that I have come across this brand, it does sell pretty quick. I got $35 for this, so I thought that that was pretty good. So just keep your eye out for that. They usually have this kind of vibe. I hope that this was interesting. I'll just show you what else I got in my store in case you're interested, but let me know if you like to watch these what sold videos, and then I can do them some more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you hit that subscribe button and join me here next Sunday.